All right, so welcome and welcome to the Unbroken series. We are now at part three.
Yes, part 3. Sorry for the wait.
Three.
But I guarantee you it's gonna be good.
It was a little wait, but we're here today with a part 3 series entitled Unstuck.
Unstuck.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, let's get
Okay.
into this.
All right, so I want everybody, you know how we always start with a little bit of prayer. So we're just going to bow our heads real quick and just say a quick prayer. God, we thank you for ourselves and we thank you for our viewers. We just want you to bless their lives, bless our lives. If any one of us has ever felt unstuck, unworthy, or we don't have any purpose in life, God, give us direction, give us what to say, and also give them a heart to hear. We thank you and bless you in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so let's just jump into it.
Okay.
Whew. So, when you hear the word unstuck, when you hear the word stuck, if somebody is stuck in life, what do you think of?
If they're stuck in life, I think that they're at a point where they're either lost or confused or they feel that they're stagnant. They just don't have any direction. So when you're stuck, like when you're stuck trying to get to a destination, like driving, like you get stuck because you may have gotten lost or, you missed something, or that's what comes to my mind.
So basically, this podcast is for anybody that's ever felt stuck. You have no direction. You're kind of just moving through life. You don't know where you're going. You don't know kind of what you're doing, but you're doing something. You do get up every day and you probably go to work. You are in a relationship, but you're not exactly sure where it's going. You're in your church. You may be doing a lot of other things, but is it really your purpose? And that's what we're going to talk about today. How to get unstuck. What does it feel like to be stuck? And how to get out of that. So first, we're going to talk about being stuck in purpose. So, yeah. When you think about being stuck in purpose, we're coming from the Christian background of maybe there's a divine purpose for my life, that my life was created for something on this earth. So when you think about being stuck in purpose, what does that mean to you?
I know that for myself, just thinking about my life, that the question comes, why am I here? What is my reasoning for being here? Am I living? And, you talk to some people and they be like, oh, child, you're not living. You haven't lived yet. Or, living or finding your purpose or your place in this earth, where you fit, where you belong. We all go through those areas or those moments in life where we don't know necessarily where we belong, or when you're trying to figure out that career, or trying to figure out whether or not school is for you, or whatever your niche is, what really gets you, where you really thrive, where you become to know who you are. That's what I think about being stuck in purpose. So it's coming to that realization of who you are, where you belong, where you fit in. What really makes you you, why you're here, what gift you have to bring to others.
Okay. Yeah, so when I think my biggest thing with being stuck in purpose is you have to understand that your purpose is not going to look like everybody else's. So you may not have a purpose that warrants $100 million, or you're going to be the best or a star, but whatever your purpose is, I don't care if you're the janitor, I don't care what you're doing, as long as your heart is in that, I think that deserves some conversation.
Right.
So, that's fine. We had a little.
Look, we just been having a rough day, so forgive us, because this is part of us being unstuck, but we just getting it out here anyway. The message still needs to be heard, so don't worry. Greater, better quality is coming.
Look, just bear with us. But honestly, just whatever you do, you have to put your heart in it, and don't measure yourself against other people's purpose. You have to stay focused in your lane and say, hey, this is what I do. And it may not be what she does. I think we do two totally different things. But if we're both getting to the same result, or to a result, which is making the world a better place, and I think that is how you, get stuck out of purpose, because you just can't go on like that. You have to figure something out. So we're now just going over some type of topics, and we're going to give some tips on how to get unstuck a little bit later on. Yeah. But moving right along, trauma. Trauma.
So how do you get to that place where you are stuck? Not everybody may recognize it as such a strong word as trauma, but when we experience things in our lives, it does cause trauma. When you experience a bad breakup, where you experience a death, a loss, where you experience a failing grade, anything that causes you to stop dead in your tracks, anything that causes you to pause in your life, anything that causes you to have feelings of doubt, uncertainty, fear, those things bring, sum up in trauma. You've experienced something, some moment in your life that where you're just unsure of what is going on, you're unsure of where you're going. You know, you can't find your place, and you're trying to figure out why. So that is the beginning stages of where you become stuck. Sometimes you wind up in a downward spiral from there on, but you can't stay there, and we don't want you to stay there. But acknowledge where it has started. Acknowledge that you're in a place that you don't want to be in, and that you want to get out of that place.
Definitely. When I think of trauma in today's society, I think of a lot of people who are pushing things in the back of their head. They are turning to different coping mechanisms, which may be alcohol, which may be drugs, which may be partying, and you're unconsciously doing it. And you don't think that you are, but you don't want to face the trauma sometimes. So sometimes it's not necessarily that you don't want to deal with it, but it's just easier to just do other things than to actually deal with trauma.
Yeah.
So when you actually are stuck, let's talk about depression for a second. I think that the depression talk in our community, especially in the Black community, we need to talk about depression and how you can be functioning, very functional. You can be going to work, going to church, going to your various activities, and you can be depressed. You can be stuck in sorts that I just feel that you can just not, what am I trying to say? You don't always have it together.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to have it together. Everybody wants to look like they have it together. And then you go on social media and everybody looks like they're having a ball or a grand time. But the reality is that people are only showing you the good stuff. Mm-hmm. Nobody's showing you that they're actually crying. That model that you're looking at and saying, oh, I wish I was like her. She seems like she's jet setting all over the world and I'm stuck in the slow lane.
Right.
Because you can't get over the trauma or different things that's happening in your life, but you don't even know what that person has gone through. So I think that we need to talk about real depression. We need to talk about real issues that's going on right now.
Just certain signs that, it may not be that you're, clinically depressed or something, but that you have those symptoms coming, you just no longer motivated to do anything, things even as far as like eating, you know what I'm saying? Like I've experienced certain situations where I have just skipped out on meals, and it wasn't like I just was determined, I'm just going to stop eating, I'm going to be anorexic or, starve myself. It wasn't like that. It just drastically starts happening. It's like a domino effect. You just decline, with that, or you stop working out, or you stop studying as hard, certain little signs that you might want to pay attention to. So if you think that you're going down this downward spiral, or if you're having symptoms or something of depression, or, just a withdrawal, a lack of energy, anything like that, you might want to take time to notice that or talk to someone, maybe a counselor or a confidant, a friend or someone, and see what their opinion is as to, how you're moving, what's going on with you, if there's a change in your behavior. So you want to look at that.
I think we advocate for godly counsel. There's nothing wrong with saying there's something maybe wrong with me, that I am not moving forward from whatever situation happened. It keeps repeating itself. And this is how you know trauma is repeating itself. It's in the constant friendships that you kind of can't keep, or the relationships that mirror each other. Right. They're the same type of relationships you're getting into, and you're getting stuck in a pattern. Basically, life is going to give you exactly what you give it. So if you're repeating these things, you may need to seek someone. Seek someone with godly counsel. It's okay to say, I need to go and talk to somebody because I need to get unstuck.
Right.
I definitely think we need to talk about that. And pray for your friends. pray for your friends.
Yeah, you never know what people are dealing with. And another point I was going to hit on, another form of drama or patterns, this cutting off thing. Oh, I got to cut you off or whatever. In this life, we need people, but you want to make sure that you surround yourself around the right people. Don't just cut people off just because you don't know how to deal with them or deal with whatever situation is at hand, or because you don't feel like dealing with it. When you don't feel like dealing with something, or when you run away from something, you just create another cycle. You just add more to the trauma. You add more to the pain and the hurt because you refuse to deal with it. So you don't want to do that. That, causes you to be stuck because you don't know how to address an issue or confront it, and move on from it. It's like you're harboring that thing. It's like, dealing with kind of like unforgiveness. So you don't want to just cut people or things off and, push it in the back of your head. You want to make sure you address it. And like she said, it's always wise to get godly counsel or, counseling, period. Like, you just get somebody that doesn't know you, that has an unbiased opinion, and they can really see the need or, just have a listening ear.
And I think you hit on some good stuff about at this point in our life, we can't cut everybody off. And I also want to highlight that it's not okay to play the psychopath role. Like, you don't get a pass because things have happened to you in your life. You make a decision every day. I don't care if you were adopted. I don't care what happened in your youth. You can be a better adult. So we have to stop using the excuse of, oh, I've been through this. There are plenty of people that have been through maybe worse than what you've been through and have made great success. So I think that being unstuck first begins in the mind. It begins with a decision saying, I'm not going to be crazy, although I want to be crazy. I want to drive up on that man because I think he hurt me. But you have to say, in the end, what is the better result? I don't want to spend the night in jail. I don't want, charges against me. I want to move on from the situation or something like that. So I definitely think we have to be accountable to ourselves. And you can't like make a storm and then get mad when it rains. Like, you can't create it. You can't create the storm and then say, oh my God, woe is me, and I'm never getting anywhere in life when you created it. It's in our decisions and everything that we do every day. So, moving right along, we're going to our personal stories.
You go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So the question at hand is, what point in your life were you completely stuck? So I would like to say, at one point in time in life, I just wanted to give up. Like, I just wanted to give up completely. I felt that I didn't have a purpose. I felt that my purpose wasn't like anybody else's. I wasn't going to get money out of my purpose. I wasn't going to get fame. I just kind of wasn't going to make it. I didn't have the support system. And I was just stuck. And in that being stuck, I almost failed a course. In being stuck, I wasn't eating correctly, and I was overeating. Some days I wouldn't eat, but some days I would just eat to numb the pain of what I was going through. I couldn't really keep friends, and I was just stuck. And I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, like, I'm ready to, like, give it all up. And she was like, I'm not sure what you talking about, but we gonna pray. She was like, give up what? And this is what she said to me. She said, how dare you try to give up when I carried you for 9 months? And I was like, what does that even mean? She was like, somebody already, prayed over you. Somebody already ordained you to be here. It was meant for you to be on this earth. If it wasn't meant for you to be on this earth, then, you wouldn't be here. So, that was one of my most stuck moments, and I guess we'll talk later about how I got through it, but I just wanted to let everybody know that depression is real. I was clinically depressed, and it took so much. But later on, I'm going to tell you how to get through that, but I want you to know that you can be saved. You can be beautiful. You can have a lot of things going for you in school, living the life, have money, have a car. I'm not even struggling, and I'm stuck. I look good on the outside, but I was stuck on the inside, and I couldn't get myself out of it. So I'm going to tell you later how that went, but how's your story go?
So for me, is a little more recent than I don't know how long ago we didn't mention the time, but
Okay.
for me, I want to say literally this last 2 years for me, I've been feeling extremely stuck as far as trying to figure out where I'm headed in life. So in the last 2 years, I graduated college, got my degree. Some friendships fell off. Some relationships just didn't last. And me normally, okay, didn't last, just move on. But after a while, I started feeling like, well, why is it that some relationships aren't lasting? Why is it that I got a degree and I can't find anything in my field or anything that I want to do? I can't find the job that, says, well, this is exactly what, I'm looking for. Why is it that, money's still looking funny, or, I just try to feel like why are I have so many loose ends or things not working out for me. And, I pondered about it, I prayed about it, and, I did little research here and there. All of me while I'm still working,
Yes.
still going on with my everyday life,
Functioning.
still going to school. I function well when I'm busy, but it's those moments where I was alone that all of these thoughts would cloud my head. And it wasn't until, I really decided, I went through a really bad breakup, and I realized that I wanted to not continue in the cycles that I was continuing in, like always constantly ending things, never seeing them come to fruition, never seeing positive results out of them, always seeing negative results. And I looked inwardly at myself. What is it that I'm doing that I'm not getting the results that I'm looking for? What is it that I'm doing that's not helping me to be my best person? Who do I have in my life that's not helping me to be my best person? So I did a lot of self-evaluations and a lot of evaluations of different relationships and friendships that I had in my life. And I realized that, they weren't necessarily pushing me to where I needed to be. And I've allowed people to not respect me. I allowed people to, just take advantage of me. And I realized that I didn't respect myself as much as I thought I did, or as much as I told people I did. And so once I started realizing a lot of those things, it took me to a dark path. And I started pitying myself, and I just got to a point where I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with life. I wasn't happy with none of my accomplishments. Yes, I accomplished things. I graduated from college. I was able to land a job, but none of these things brought me peace. None of these things brought me happiness. And I had to really take time out. So I seek counseling, and I was going to counseling and found out, there are so many different things and areas that I wasn't focusing on. A lot of my strengths and a lot of my characters and attributes and abilities that makes me the great person that I am, but I focused so much on the things that I wasn't and that I thought I should be. And that's what made me get to that place of feeling stuck. Even as far as me wanting to commit suicide, that's not something that I've ever expressed to anyone. And it's just...
I did too, though.
Oh, wow.
And no, we never talked to each other about this, but I did too, though.
Yeah, something I've dealt with for years, and I finally have gotten to the point where I was able to speak about it and not feel that haunting, not feel guilty about it, and not feel, because this is something that people deal with on a daily basis. And even the people that's most close to me, who we're very close. People that are most close to me, I've never mentioned that to them. I've never said anything to them, and I don't know if they noticed or whatever, but they probably never even noticed. Most people that know me know I'm the most bubbliest person ever they'll ever come in contact with. You never see anything wrong with me, but if you notice something's wrong with me, for sure, there's an evidence. But even in that, they couldn't identify that, and that is when I got to my stuck.
And I think that we have to normalize conversations about this, because I've had a little bout with depression and feeling like I wanted to commit suicide maybe a couple months ago. And that's when I had to call my mom. And so this kind of is a good conversation to talk about, because we're not strung out. We're not overly doing anything. But the fact that everyday people are even contemplating it. Not saying we're going to do it or no one should do it.
Right.
Like, your life matters.
Right.
But to talk about, I think that is strength.
Yeah.
And the fact that we don't know and we talk all the time to each other is crazy.
Yeah.
That each one of us has dealt with the thought of maybe this world doesn't even need me. Like, what am I even doing?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I even here?
Right.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So that was our rock bottoms, and I'm even more excited to tell you how to get from that place. So
you want me to tell first?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll keep it in order.
So, okay, I'll tell y'all how I got through my stuckness a couple months ago when I had my bout with it. I had to call my mom. I was failing. I told y'all everything I was going through. I was overeating. I was gaining weight. I think I gained like 15, 20 pounds. And I just didn't have any purpose, girl. It was rough. Donuts galore. And how I got over it was my mom prayed, so I felt better. You pray, you feel better. But not only did I have to pray, I had to get up. And my mom told me one thing, and I'll never forget what she said to me. She said, Jessica, she said, the enemy is only going to try people that have something that he wants. She was like, you have something inside of you. She was like, I don't care what anybody else does, what anybody else money they make. She said, you have something inside of you. She said, there are people on their deathbed wishing they had the life that you had, wishing that they had the health that you had. So for you to take your good health and ruin it, for you to take all that you are, all that God created you to be, everything that she said she slaved for 9 months. She was like, and throw it away. She was like, think about your parents, think about everybody in your life, and think about yourself. How much people would be devastated, how hurtful that would be. But not only just that, about you. You matter. Because you wouldn't be here. She was just basically telling me, you wouldn't be here if it was not necessary for you to be here. She was like, and there's not one thing that's different from you than that's from T.D. Jakes. There's not one thing different from you than from Joyce Leslie. It's the fact that they made a decision that despite whatever they were going through, that they were going to get up. Every morning that they were going to get up. She was like, so all I want you to do, I don't want you to do too much. I just want you to get up every day. She said, and another way I got over it was I had to focus on my strengths. So I like to read. So instead of chasing a relationship, I decided to read. I decided, hey, I like hikes. I like exercise. So I decided to exercise. And I decided that whatever, like, I don't even want to focus on other people, because every time you focus on other people, you're slowing yourself down in your own lane. You're in your own lane.
Right.
So the moment that she prayed and I got reassured that my life mattered, I began to do what I like to do. And I began not to apologize for it. That you have to be selfish a little bit. Like, you have to say, I like my space, I need my peace, I need time to think, and I need to do this for me.
Yeah.
And I got help. I went to a counselor too. I had to go to a counselor, and the counselor would bring up different things, and it would address why I was feeling a certain type of way. And you don't even think that, oh, what happened in your childhood is linked to what's happening today. But it is. It really is. So I just advise that everybody pray first. Definitely have an open communication. You don't have to get down there, oh, Heavenly Father. You don't even have to go that hard. You just need to talk. Just talk to God.
Right.
You know, you might not have everybody else to talk to in the world, but talk to God. And then get up. You have to get up. How did you get through?
So again, like I said, I seeked out counseling, and one thing I can be fortunate to say that I do have a very supportive backbone as far as my family, and I was grateful to have them in my corner. So if I felt like I needed to talk here and there, I would talk to them. But sometimes you need to talk to people outside of your family. Mm-hmm. Again, like I said, someone who has an unbiased opinion. And so I started going to counseling, and they reassured me more or less of my strengths as well. And like I said before, I was focusing on the minors and not focusing on the majors in my life, things that made me who I was, things that made me the great person that I am, things that I am good at, and then they also pointed out the weaknesses, and they said, but now you have wisdom about these different areas because you've gone through. You can attest and say, hey, I've been through that. But that's one of the reasons why you're here. And it's something that has stuck with me to this day. One of my mentors, MT, told me, he said, you are in a place where other people have died. And that stuck with me so vividly because I was in a place where I felt like I wanted to die. But because I have made it past that point where other people had let go, it's like, wow, I realized that I'm an overcomer. I can fight. I can still, I still have that energy, that heart beating to keep moving forward. And I can help someone else move past that point. So every time I face something and every time I go through something, I would take in that mindset, this is for someone else. I've made it this far. I can go a little bit further. So another thing I had to do, getting up, I started writing down all these affirmations about myself, how I wanted to see myself, the person that I wanted to be. And I declared it over myself. I am beautiful. I am lovely. I am smart. I am financially free. I am debt free. I am successful in everything that I set my hands to do. So these things I even to this day declare over myself every single day, in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. I set reminders on my phone about who I am and who I aspire to be, the things that I aspire to do, the places I aspire to go. One of my favorite vacation trips, and I tell you, I lie to you not, I want to go to Bora Bora. That is my vacation spot of my entire life. Like, that is my dream vacation. And even first, like, people tell you, oh, what's your dream spot? Bora Bora. And I believe I'm going to get there one day. It is on my phone. Like, that's my plan. Like, I want to travel. I want to see the world. Exposing myself to areas that made me uncomfortable within myself, getting to that deep place of myself, things that I did not want to talk about, things that I did not want to express, made me realize that it is in those moments of uncomfort that you grow. You start to learn a whole lot more about who you are. You start to learn learn a lot more about other people, different roles they play in your life. And I realized during that time that there were some people that I had on my bandwagon that they drained me. I mean, like, it was like a leech. They were sucking the life out of me, where I had enough to give to them, but I didn't have any to give to myself. And they would never pour back into me. And I had to realize that it's not that I'm going to cut them off, but I have to deal with them in a different way, a different manner, where I can still pour into them and not feel depleted, where I'm not taking on their burdens. And it helped me to realize that was another thing that helped me become unstuck, because I felt like I had so many people pulling on me that, I didn't have anyone to pull on myself. So, actually putting in the work to declare what I wanted in my life, to go through counseling and deal with all that stuff that I had buried deep down inside of me, to address the different situations in life that I faced that caused me trauma that I didn't even realize, that, helped me become unstuck. And I started doing what? I started applying to different schools that I wanted to go to, applying for jobs that I know I didn't have, I just didn't see myself getting there. Not saying that I didn't have the expertise or requirements, because I do, but I didn't think that I was qualified, but I applied anyway. And guess what? Things just started falling into place, and realizing that because I went through something that qualified me to be able to speak on it. And so with that, I can help someone else. And I was able to find my purpose through those moments.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
One thing you hit on, and I want to reiterate to everybody, is whatever you've done or whatever happened in your past, don't let people tell you who you are. I don't care what it is. Don't let anybody put a hoe, a cheater, whatever you did. I don't care if you did it 10 minutes ago. If you said in your mind, I want to change today or change tomorrow, you are no longer that person. And if somebody tries to address you that way, you say, oh, no. That's not me. No. And sometimes as women, we have to go back and get standards. Yes. Because it's like,
yes, raise the standards. Raise the standards.
It's like, oh, I know you when you did this, so I'm just going to treat you like this, or that's how you was, so I don't know why you with it now. Well, excuse me, sir, I got wiser. You know, I learned from my mistake, but I'm not going to still allow you to do the same thing to me.
Right.
Yes, that may have happened in 2011, but we here in 2017 now, that's not going to work. Bye, boy. Like, you have to set a standard. In doing so, once you get into the, oh, now I'm not stuck anymore, you have to say, well, going forward, who am I? Like, discover who you are so you can tell people who you're not.
Right.
And you have to stick to it.
Yes.
Because they will call you out.
Consistency is key. Like, and that's one thing that I have to reiterate. Like, this whole process of becoming unstuck, becoming unbroken.
Yes.
It is something that you have to do every day. It's not easy. This is not for the faint at heart. Like, I'm telling you, anybody that wanted to be great, I'm going to tell you they messed up a lot of times, and they're still messing up. But that's the only way that you learn. You have failures, but you have to be determined to stick it out. And that's the only thing that I can say that has kept probably both of us going as far. You have to be determined to see a different result, determined to see a different ending, determined to rewrite your story. So every single day, even on your worst days, Bishop Saunders, shout out to you. He said, on your worst days, speak your best word. I don't care if your best word is, I think myself happy, and you just like real sad. Guess what? Keep saying it, because eventually you're going to be happy.
You are.
The more you repeat, the more you get it up here, the more you get it in your heart, it will happen. It will manifest. Take your word, apply it to your life, and you will see results.
Yes, because I was my worst enemy. I don't even think people were really doing things to me. I was just thinking things. So I think you have to rewire yourself, even when those thoughts come in your head like, oh, girl, you're not going to get that job, or you don't even need to apply anyway. Oh, girl, you don't think you need, who are you? Do it anyway. Why? Because you have nothing to lose. This is your life. And don't let nobody else write your life for you.
Right.
When you get on that little grave tombstone, you want that dash in between the years to mean something.
Right.
You want, if something happened, people actually have something nice to say about you. You're not just, oh, I'm being petty, I'm being this because I'm miserable, or I'm stuck so I want everybody else to be stuck. No. Make your life mean something.
Yeah. You want to, at the end of your life, or not even the end of your life, you could look back today, and you should always walk away with the question, who did I help today, or what kind of impression did I put out in the world today? You know, what can people say about me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to have those thoughts in your head. And I'm going to give you a tip about becoming unstuck. So the things that you like, things that you just find amazing, that other people might find weird, or they just necessarily disagree on, 9 times out of 10, that's where you should be.
That's it.
Everybody can't go with you, and everybody's not going to agree with you. You know, now, don't mistake me for, you know, constructive criticism. When some people, you know they have your best interest at heart, and they know you, and they always supported you, and you know they lead you in good paths. You know, if you go out here talking about, you know, I want to be a street pharmacist, that's probably not the best thing you should do. And if they tell you that's not necessarily wise, you probably should listen to them. But you know, if you have a passion for feeding the homeless, or if you just have a passion for, you know, painting, you just love to draw, or you just love to paint, like you don't know why, or you just love operas, 9 times out of 10, go continue to seek that out. Continue to invest your time into it. Continue to learn all that you can about it, because you'll see yourself to start to develop, and how much you didn't know about that subject, or, you know, how much it's become a part of you. 9 times out of 10, that is something that you're really passionate about, something that you're really good at. Could be one of your purposes in life. And there are many different purposes you can have. You know, so many people have many different talents and so many different gifts. Don't define yourself to one thing.
Right. So we have done a lot of talking tonight.
Yeah.
We hope that at least you're on the path to being unstuck.
Right.
We want you to know, we're going to do, I guess, a closing thing of what advice we would give to our younger selves.
Yes.
To our stuck selves. We're
Oh
just
my
going to give
goodness.
closing advice to our younger stuck selves. And we just hope that this conversation normalizes that we have all been stuck. So you don't have to go on your Instagram, go on your Facebook and look at other people and say, man, I wish my life was like theirs. Oh, everybody getting engaged and I'm just here. Or, everything. Sometimes people are getting new jobs and I'm still stuck at my job. Right. You thank God that you have that job. You thank God in your singleness. Yeah. You thank God because you found yourself. You're finding yourself. You thank God in every place and aspect of your life because it's your life. Yeah. And every day you get breath. So, closing for me, the closing advice I would give to myself is don't overthink it. For me, I will overthink it too much. So if I could give myself, my younger stuck self advice is don't overthink it. You're overly complicating life. Figure out what's the root of the problem. Be consistent in trying to get over your problem, whether through counseling, prayer, doing other things. Be consistent. Consistency is going to work. It really is. Yeah. Stay consistent. Do something. I don't know what it is, but whatever your thing is, do it. Right. And that's it. To me, just do your thing. 2017, do your thing. Yeah. Don't do everybody else's thing. Do your thing.
Yes. Whatever you do it and do it well. Please. Don't halfway anything. Do it well. Put all of you into it. And I would just tell my younger self, stop trying to please everybody. Hey. You can't.
Shonda.
Whoever gets you. Whoever doesn't. And that's okay too. So that's all I got to say. Hope somebody was blessed. Hope y'all got something out of this. If y'all have any questions or concerns, please, hit us up. You can hit her up. If you want to do something very confidential, you can send us an email to jess21gen92@gmail.com. That's jess21gen92@gmail.com. Love y'all.
Love you. See y'all.